Hello and a very warm welcome to Bharata First. I'm Frank Rajan Pereira. You're watching Frank Talk. And since you're here, I would like to thank you for your continued support. For those of you who haven't already subscribed, please like the video, subscribe, hit the bell icon, and then all notifications. Do follow our social media handles for all the latest updates, and you can also subscribe to our newsletter to get some incisive content. The Bharata First team runs a daily big picture quiz. Please do participate by going through the description in big picture videos. Here are the UPI IDs for those of you who would like to come forward and contribute. A small contribution that you make will be a giant leap for us to keep bringing you this content. So do continue to show your love and support. All this information, along with some must-see recommendations, are in the description of this video. Please go through it. Well, every week on Frank Talk, we meet some accomplished individuals who have done some great deeds. The guest that I have on the program today needs no introduction. The way he has carried India's flag while in service and even after it has made him a household name. I've known this gentleman for over a decade now, and it is a pleasure to welcome to Bharata First decorated retired Indian Army officer, Major General G.D. Bakshi. General, thank you so much for doing this with me.
Thank you for having me.
There's so much to talk about, General, but let's first talk about what the latest events surrounding the COVID-19 pandemic and the role that China has played. There are several reports that have now come to the fore that this is indeed man-made and not natural, and China should pay for the crimes that it has created or has manifested as far as mankind is concerned. Your thoughts on this entire issue?
I think we couldn't have chosen a more relevant topic for discussion today. The simple fact is that when this pandemic broke upon the world last year, as you are aware, the election fever was on in the United States, and there was then a concerted effort on the part of a large number of the people in the microbiologist community to poo-poo it as a natural epidemic, zoonotic epidemic, which had come from the wet markets of Wuhan, jumped from the animal vector to man. And there was actually last year a signed paper in the Lancet magazine, a very prestigious medical journal, Lancet, which was led by Peter Daszak and about 26 other microbiologists who said, oh, this is all a natural pandemic, it is natural occurrence, so China is not to blame. They were all so keen to give a clean chit to China, and as a result of this scientific study, all the charges that Donald Trump and his cabinet colleagues were making were dismissed as conspiracy theories, contemptuously dismissed as conspiracy theory. But since then, a lot of information has come out by the Freedom of Information Act in the United States, by a number of Senate hearings and other means. And now it turns out that this original Lancet paper giving a clean chit to China was highly suspect because it was orchestrated by Peter Daszak. Now, who the hell is Peter Daszak? Peter Daszak is the head of an American NGO called Eco Health Alliance. I would like to remind you that in the Maryland, military laboratory of infectious diseases laboratory of the US Army in Maryland, they were carrying out research on what is called gain of function research on viruses. That you take viruses which are existing in nature, you soup them up, you amplify their infectivity, their toxicity, and so that in case they come about, they are caused by nature or by an enemy country, you've already got worked out the vaccines, the antidotes, the medicines. So that is the purpose of gain of function research. But it is extremely dangerous. What if this Frankenstein gets out of your lab? Then you've invited upon yourself the nemesis that you were trying to save yourself from. You know,
Absolutely.
so from 2014 to 2017, in Obama's time, all this research was banned in the United States. But that didn't stop Fauci and the National Institute of Health and other American scientists from stopping this research. Fauci simply ordered this to be offloaded to China and other countries, right? And as a result of this, he gave 3.4 million, some put the figure as $3.7 million to Peter Daszak and others, so that he paid off about $6 lakhs to the Wuhan Institute of Virology, and he just transferred this research there, right?
Absolutely.
This same Peter Daszak is part of the WHO team that went this year to Wuhan to carry out investigation. And what a joke of an investigation. What a joke. You know, the Chinese first quarantined this team for 15 days, did not let it move out of the hotel. Finally, after 15 days, when the Wuhan Institute had been vacuum cleaned, hosed down, washed clean, then they were allowed to go in for 3 hours. They could not see any blood samples. They were not allowed to inspect any of the drainage, the waste disposal systems. They were not allowed to interview any of the people, researchers involved. They were not allowed to access to any computer databases. In short, it was a kind of a joke.
Absolutely.
And Peter Daszak, who had a conflict of interest, he was the guy funding this research. How the hell could he have given a clean chit to the Wuhan Institute of Virology? So this, so far, for the clean chit aspect of it. Now it is seriously under doubt, and the world has come to the conclusion this looks like it has come out from the Wuhan Institute of Virology. Let me give you a bit more background. It's very essential. I was serving in the Military Operations Directorate 1999-2000. Part of my charter was nuclear, chemical, biological warfare. As part of that, our military attaché from the United States had sent us a book by two Chinese senior colonels that was called Unrestricted Warfare. This book was an eye-opener. This book talked of how emerging power like China could take on a superpower like the United States and defeat it by waging no holds barred, unrestricted warfare, where they would use a multitude of means, military and non-military. And hold your breath, the non-military means included terrorism, biological warfare, cyber warfare, cryptocurrency warfare, economic warfare, whole lot of warfares. Biological warfare topped the list. But that people could have said, oh, this is just a book by two Chinese officers. They may be just kite flying. It's just their personal views. How does it reflect the views of China? The simple fact is, sir, that this was repeated 2010. Gao Wei, another Chinese researcher, military researcher, publishes another book, which talks of biological warfare. You could say another book. Then Lieutenant General Zhang Jibu, he writes a book on weaponizing the virus using biological warfare. You could say still personal opinion. Sir, in 2017, the Chinese have an official military doctrine called the Science of Military Strategy. In 2017, a new edition was published which had a new chapter on biological warfare. Now, this is not, kite flying. This is not theory. This is the official doctrine of the People's Liberation Army of China.
Absolutely.
Right? And China is a signatory to the Biological Warfare Convention, banning use, production, storage of biological warfare weapons.
Hmm.
So how could the official military doctrine of the People's Liberation Army of China contain a chapter on biological warfare? The world should have cried. This
True.
is wrong. You are violating your treaty that you signed, treaty obligation. But the
Absolutely.
world did not notice it. They kept quiet. It's only us military men who read it, and we pass it on to the governments, but nothing was done.
General, since we are here,
Uh,
a quick
yeah.
follow-up question on,
Uh,
yes, this could be true, and we are finally looking into this matter, and we are looking at it. If it indeed is true, will we ever know, first and foremost? Because nothing is going to come out of China, like you yourself said. Even the fact-finding team that went there was given no access at all. Secondly, if we do get to know, how can we make China pay?
Good. So there are two parts to your question. Let me take the first part. Did it really happen? How will we get to know? The fact is, sir, we already have a lot of information. And let me share it with you. We already, the United States, other countries, other scientists have already built up a whole bank of information. The smoking gun is a 2015 paper by an Air Force virologist of the Chinese People's Liberation Army Air Force, Zhu Dezong. You see, he and 18 scientists, microbiologists, got together, prepared a report on biological warfare. They made 24 presentations to the top Chinese leadership, including Xi Jinping. So you can imagine how important this paper was. And some of the highlights of these papers are worth quoting. Number one, they said that the SARS virus was genetically engineered in a lab and was deliberately used to target China with biological warfare. You understand? This is very important to understand that in the Chinese perception, right or wrong, they feel they have already been attacked by biological warfare weapons with SARS. Okay? And hence, ergo sum, the Chinese are justified in retaliating. Then they went into details of the new techniques of biological warfare, how microorganisms can be freeze dried, they can be carried as frozen food, you know, taken to an enemy country, aerosolized and let loose. Nobody can trace it back. It is just some tourist who has come munching frozen food. He goes to the bathroom, he goes to the restaurant, aerosolizes it, and that's it. You come to a crowded place like Dharavi, Mumbai, and you spread it. Both your first and second waves have started more or less from Mumbai. Okay? And they were most active in that province. The most crowded, most easy to spread, a city like Mumbai, right? Now, let me add a few more interesting details. 2012, there was an incident in China of which we have got lot of data. We data mined the Chinese relevant websites, and we've gotten a lot of data out, including by Indian scientists, right? In 2012, there are caves in Yunnan where they have copper mines. 6 Chinese workers were sent to clean up those caves, disused copper mine. It was all full of bad shit. These guys came back with a form of pneumonia on which a lot of research was done. One MSc student in China published his research paper on that. We have managed to get hold of that research paper in India. Okay? And that research paper said this is exactly something like COVID. The CT scans that were added to that research paper show the same lung patches as have appeared in COVID. So the amazing part is that the Chinese Institute of Virology in Wuhan is led by two major generals of the PL. Two major generals. Xi Zhengli, a lady, she is called Batwoman. She is an expert on bat coronaviruses. Immediately she got to know this. She sent a team, 260 bats were brought. Their shit was taken out, anal fecal swabs were taken out, and she started doing a whole lot of research. And she identified the bat coronavirus, which has 96.2% match with the COVID. 96.2% genome match with the COVID now. Okay. Now she started working on what is called gain of function research. And that is the time the American Peter Daszak stepped in to fund that research. Of course, it was partly funded. China is quite rich. It doesn't really lack money. So the Chinese Academy of Sciences also threw in money, and they carried out research, and Xi Zhengli published papers, 4 papers, which were on the net. They were only taken off the net in early September 2019. She spoke of how she could splice the SARS hook molecule. Every virus has a hook molecule which attaches to your cell. It is a protein blob. She spliced it onto the backbone of the bat coronavirus in a typical gain of function research. She was guided by Professor Ralph Baric of the North Carolina University in the United States, who was her mentor. She had trained under him, and he gave her the technique of how to do serial passage through cell cultures, which will mask whether it is a lab-made or a natural virus, right? You can mask that. So she did that, and by November 2015, Xi Zhengli had produced the COVID virus, the present COVID virus, and they had stored it in their lab, right? This research continued through 2016-17. They kept improving this dangerous pathogen, which now, you see, previously, this bat coronavirus wasn't communicable to humans. It hadn't made the jump from man to human, because whatever infections took place, they did not spread in Yunnan. So it could not jump from this thing human to human. But now with this SARS hook molecule, it was, like common cold. It was the spread was so deadly. So this was ready in the Chinese labs. 2018, an American team goes there, checks that lab, and says, "My God, their safety protocols are dismal. All the bloody viruses, and this was not the only virus they made, can leak out any time." And suddenly we find all relations between the Wuhan lab and Americans cut. Right? Now, in September 2018, there's a lot of circumstantial evidence already available. That is what I'm trying to tell you. Right?
Absolutely.
So, the circumstantial evidence is that in September 2019, 4 months before the actual release of the pandemic outbreak, the Chinese held military games in Wuhan, World Military Games. And the Chinese Foreign Ministry experts subsequently accused the United States Special Forces team of spreading the COVID virus in Wuhan. Okay? Right or wrong? This is what the Chinese claim. This is what their perception is. And please understand that if a country is making such an accusation that so-and-so has used biological warfare, it is also laying grounds for the use of biological warfare by that so-called victim country. Okay? In November 2019, month before the virus officially broke out, 3 workers in the Wuhan Institute of Virology fall sick with a pneumonia, absolutely similar symptoms like COVID. The Americans' intelligence is aware of this. And they are
Sure.
asking, we want to know their case histories. China is refusing to give the case histories of the first six, but that has already been data mined
Hmm.
from computers, Chinese computers, right? And now comes this, the next three, 6 and 3, 9 cases of COVID which precede the pandemic in China. So we already know a lot.
So what
Whatever
next,
we
General?
do. So
How?
now,
Yeah, the second part
now
of the
comes
question.
the second part of the question. What can you do? Okay. The communist sympathizers of China, the bootlickers of China in India, I won't take names, but they are on television shouting their lungs out. China is too strong. You can do nothing to China. So let sleeping dogs lie. You can't force China. WHO is saying you can't force China to admit. After collaborating with China, quite obviously WHO is in cahoots. You can't force China to admit. Wrong. Please don't forget that a few years back, Philippines had taken China to the International Court of Justice over the dispute in the South China Sea, right? China, the International Court of Justice gave a verdict saying all Chinese claims to South China Sea are rubbish. Rubbish. China, poured scorn on the ICJ findings. What the hell can you do? And they carried on with their muscular activity in the South China Sea. And the world was quite shocked. Look at the contempt with which they have treated the International Court of Justice. Sir, but China has had to pay a price. There are 4 carrier battle groups of the Americans now in South China Sea and Taiwan Straits. There is a French carrier battle group that went there. There are Japanese battle groups that are there. Indian warships have gone, Australian warships have gone, and a British carrier battle group led by the Queen Elizabeth is going to South China Sea. China has invited trouble. It's not that nothing can be done to China. Economic action can be taken against China. Sanctions can be put against China. Penal sanctions can be put against China. Loans, people can stop repaying loans to China. The supply chains can be reworked to go away from China. No, it's not that nothing can be done. If the world decides, the world can do a lot.
But that's the problem, isn't it, General? The world has to decide. Is the world together as one on this particular issue? Because the Chinese have been masters at this, sowing division within the ranks.
No, so as of now, all the important countries, the United States is more or less signed on to the lab leak theory, right? Australia, there is a British scientist, Norwegian scientist, who said this is a genetically modified virus, period. People have come in writing. President Joe Biden has given 90 days to his intelligence agencies to determine once and for all what is it. Donald Trump is again back into the media limelight, and he has said China must pay $10 trillion as reparations to the world. For God's sake, 171 million people have been infected. 3.7 million people are dead. The world economy has taken a hit of $2 trillion. The hospitality industry, travel industry are finished. Industries have taken a knock. You see, somebody has to pay for it, man. It can't be business as usual. Please do some more. Look at the case of India. We got the first wave last year. Fortunately, it was not very lethal. The wave that went to the virus that went to United States and Europe was far more lethal. So this year, you know that viruses can be tweaked to target ethnic groups. So this year we get the second virus, the second wave. What does it take? A chunk of frozen food. That's all it takes, sir. And you have a second wave, and you know, India, the loss in India, sir, is 3 crore Indians infected, over 3 lakh Indians dead. Is that small change? And what do you mean? In all the wars that India has fought, we've never had such casualties. Not also with terrorism. Terrorism has caused you 80,000 casualties so far. This is 3 lakh dead, sir. You can just smile and take it. We are supposed to smile and take it. Because as per some sold out communist traitors in this country, China is too damn strong. So the murder of 3 lakh Indians is justified? What nonsense! There are people saying India should be non-aligned. Arey saab, this non-alignment joke has gone too far. You could be non-aligned between Russia and America because they were both far away. They didn't even have borders with you. None of them did you any harm. So you could be non-aligned. Here is a country that is your primary enemy, China. It has attacked you in 62, killed 3,800 Indian soldiers. Now it has killed 3 lakh Indians. So what are you going to do about it? Nothing. Sweet Fanny Adams, is it? I don't think you can, any government worth its salt can do that. It is the job of the government to protect Indian citizens.
Absolutely. General, since you are here, I want to know from you as well, because like you mentioned, and we all have come to terms with it now, because for many a years, many a decades, our focus was on Pakistan. Now we have come to realize that China is the real big threat and the real problem as far as India is concerned. And Pakistan, now we have dealt with, with the, especially since 2019, Pakistan has not had the same kind of an influence that it used to have earlier on India. And now China has taken on this very difficult and challenging role. How do we deal with a very challenging neighbor like China, General? What should be 3 or 4 of our top strategies?
Look, even earlier than the Kargil war, George Fernandez, then the defense minister, had said China is the primary threat. It's been known for a long time that Pakistan is a cat's paw. The primary threat has always been China, especially after 1962. The primary threat to India's security is China. Pakistan is just a cat's paw. You're right, we have dealt with Pakistan. We've given it a lesson after Balakot that you mess with us, boy, and you are going to get it. And there has been no mass casualty terror action after that. It was to try and prop up Pakistan that China staged Ladakh last year. Main hoon na, karo. But Pakistan still hasn't mustered the courage. It's only now starting, after the ceasefire, when it got some months of peace. It is now starting to try and start terrorism by small, killing one BJP activist here and there in J&K. See, otherwise Pakistan, despite 370 being taken away, etc., 35 Alpha, was absolutely quiet. They just made verbal noises which don't matter a damn. Nobody heard them. So you are right. China is your major threat. And China, you see, unfortunately, hasn't fought a war for the last 42 years. Fortunately for us, they have a conscript army of princelings. You understand princeling? Princeling is a boy of a single child family. He doesn't want to die. His parents don't want him to die. Traditionally, a single child is never sent to the battlefield. He's all that the family has. But unfortunately, with that one child policy, the whole of China is single child family. They don't want to fight. They come for 4-year conscription. He wants to go back in one piece. They are not willing to fight. And actually, had push come to shove, it almost came to shove last year, China would have gotten a bloody nose. China is well aware of this. And that is why China has done something horrible. It has started using biological warfare because it can't stand up and fight like men. The, the, the question is, the question is that even a madman like Hitler, who systematically gassed 6 million Jews to death, he had huge stockpiles of biological chemical warfare weapons. He never used them because he was scared of retaliation in kind. The Chinese have. This is a crime against humanity. And now I will make on your channel a big revelation. The world is now come around to the view that it was not a natural virus, sir. It was a lab-made virus. So far, the world is of the view that it was an accidental release. Sir, my suspicion is, I have written a paper in the Sunday Guardian. My paper is coming out today in the Indian Military Review. And my book, which is Thunder Dragon, COVID Strike, does a hypothetical wargaming exercise on how it could have been done in China. Under the guise of fiction, we put it all out. We put it all out. Okay? My strong suspicion, and we have strong circumstantial evidence to suspect that it was a staged accident. Of course, it was an accident, but it was a staged accident. Those who read military history, may I remind you how the Second World War started? Do you remember? With a staged German attack at their own post at Dresden on the Polish border, 1939. How did the war between Japan and China start? That had started even before the Second World War. By a staged Japanese attack on their own post at Mukden. It is called the Mukden incident. So those who read military history are aware of these patterns. The civilians are not. Okay? We are consciously making these charges. That is why the world has to come to the bottom of this. You have to deter China. You have to retweak the Biological Warfare Convention. Give it teeth. The IAEA, International Atomic Energy Commission Agency, is a watchdog body for nuclear proliferation. This can and has been carrying out intrusive inspections in Iran of nuclear plants. Similarly, every virological lab in the world should be under the ambit of this for intrusive inspections. The world can't afford millions of people being infected and millions of people dying. It's not a joke that some strange glove scientist somewhere has taken it that the world's population is too large. Who are you to decide how big the population should be or should not be? Nobody can play God here. Nobody can play God. That is why the United States banned that research. Don't play God. There's a big outcry there. The Senate committee has taken Fauci over the coals. Who asked you to play God?
General, a pleasure having you on the program. Thank you so much
God
for
bless
sharing
you.
your views and sharing your thoughts
God.
on this very interesting and intriguing subject.
Thank you. Jai Bharat. Jai Hind.
Jai Bharat, Jai Hind indeed. And before I go, once again, thank you for your continued support. For those of you who haven't already subscribed, please like the video, subscribe, hit the bell icon, and then all notifications. Do follow our social media handles for all the latest updates, and you can also subscribe to our newsletter to get some incisive content. The Bharata First team runs a daily Big Picture quiz. Please do participate by going through the description in Big Picture videos. Here are the UPI IDs for those of you who would like to come forward and contribute. A small contribution that you make will be a giant leap for us to keep bringing you this content. So do continue to show your love and support. I need it now more so than ever. All this information along with some must-see recommendations are in the description of this video. Please go through it. That's it from me. See you again next time.